Hi and welcome to another C++ lesson. My name is David and today we will be looking at for loops. In case you missed any of our previous lessons, just click on the link in the description below. In our last videos, we talked about different loops and conditions. Today we will be looking at the for loop, which is a great loop to use if you know exactly how many times you want to play through that loop. Okay, and so to start coding the for loop, we of course need to type in for, open a bracket, and now inside these brackets you need three different arguments. We start by initializing our counter, or in this case the variable I, which is set to 0. Then we will need a condition. Let's say something like, okay, I shouldn't reach 10, and we want to increase I by 1 each time the for loop is in fact running. And we will say something like oops, sorry, a lot of typos today. I is in fact I, and end it with an end line. So you see these three elements. You have the counter, you have the condition for the loop, and you have an increment each time this this statement runs, or this loop runs through. So let's test this, and we will see, in fact, we will have the numbers 0 to 9. We know the loop ran exactly 10 times, and that's the nice thing about for loops. And actually this variable will be destroyed after we're done using the for loop. So if we want to display something like, okay, let's display I again outside the for loop, it will say or tell us that I isn't declared at all. So this part of the program outside the for loop does not know what I is. So, and that's a pretty big deal when you are to choose between different kinds of loops or conditions. It's a nice thing that each time you finish your loop, the actual counter is destroyed and not just laying around somewhere not being used, which is just occupying space we don't need. This may not be that bad if you have like these kind of small programs, but let me say this for the bigger picture. If you're on a project building like over hundreds of different pages of code, this will eventually be a disaster at some point. And of course, you don't need to use constant numbers for your conditions right here. You can also say something like, well, int chosen, for example, just choose a number of times. Cn chosen, and we will set an end line right here. And we will say something like, excuse me, forgot a semicolon. And we will say, okay, that's 0 is here. It will only run a chosen amount of time, of course. Choose a number, we say 5, it runs 5 times. Do it again, say 20, and it will actually run 20 times. So that's the cool thing about for loops. And of course you can use inside the for loops, you can do a whole lot of other stuff, something like if chosen is bigger than 10, larger than 10, say something like this is big for example, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter. So if we choose to set it to 11, it will tell us each time this is big, whatever. You can do, for example, another thing like structuring one for loop into another for loop. Let's say this 5 times. And let's do this 5 times. N is 0, of course, because we didn't choose to change this. We didn't change this for the good. Yeah, we pretty much screwed up at that point. So and this is still I, this is still I, then another one is N. And this will actually work pretty damn good. So now what's happening is that, that I forgot to change this to N. 3, and this will say us, okay, to explain what is happening. We chose the number 3, so this is actually 3. It jumps into this part, and now this for loop will actually run 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before jumping into the I again. So I is increased by 1. It is still 0. It will jump to N again for 5 times. I will go up to 1. N will jump to 5 times. And I will end with the 2 running 3 times. So especially in exercises where you have to program some capsulated loops, or for example, Fibonacci is a nice exercise or practice for understanding loops. The for loop is a very, very, very useful tool to finish this exercise very easily. Yeah, and actually I think this is pretty much everything you need to know about for loops at the beginning. There's maybe a small other thing I can show you. For example, you can of course take this and put it out here, and this will still work, but this is really, as I told you before, not a very, very good programming style you wanna choose. I mean, if you program it like this, the whole loop works just fine, and there's nothing on the outside which maybe lets you think there's a problem programming it this way. But as I told you before, once this loop is finished and we don't need it anymore, we still have data lying around not to be used, and your computer cannot allocate any of the space occupied by this definition. So just put it back where it belongs, and this will work as cleanly as it can work. Yeah, and this is actually everything I can teach you to for loops. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Give it a like up if you did, a dislike if you don't. Just tell me what you wanted to hear differently. If there's any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn more about the C++ lessons. My name is David. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see each other next time. Bye-bye.